Hi, I'm Anna from AHA Body and Mind. I've got a stretchy band. I've got a tall support. That's all you're going to need for this quick little demonstration on how to build some resilience and strength for our ankles and our feet. Have you ever considered training your feet like a six-pack? Maybe, maybe not. Imagine if our six-pack was super tight. We'd be like this. Could we move? Not very comfortably. Just like a strong core needs to be able to be freely moving so we can do what we want in life, so do our feet and our ankles. If our feet and ankles get super duper tight, we start to walk with a funny shuffle, our toes lose their mobility, and those little suckers are super important for balance, for posture, and for propelling us through our stride, doing what we want to do on our feet. So tell you what, I teach a lot of barefoot fitness. I also like to run. I just had a beautiful run this morning. Fresh, beautiful day, sunshine, crisp air, but I'm starting to feel my arch and the muscles around the ankle tighten up and seize up. And if I don't do something about that, what's going to happen is going to travel through that leg of mine and land right here. And then it's going to be a real literal pain in the butt trying to unwind all that tension. The way to take care of the little tight spots that come from the lower body is to help with the feet. So we can roll those out on tennis balls, and that's a great place to start. But I'm going to show you 6 quick ways. Build your six-pack for your feet in 6 quick ways. Go grab your stuff, put this aside, and then let's get started with your support. Now, it doesn't matter what you're using, but I do want you to hang on to it at all times. Not death grip, fingertip touch, but a little pressure and resistance because we're not working balance. Here's the difference. We're working strength so that we can balance. Don't let go of your support. It's very important because we want to build the resilience and the longevity in those tissues so that we can balance. Use your support, fingertip strength, have your shoulders over your hips, over your heels, keep your heels on the floor, press into your support and slide down. So sliding down an imaginary wall. Don't let the bum stick out. Don't let the heels lift. If the bum sticks out, we're not stretching the lower muscles of our calf around the ankle and the Achilles. I want you to feel how deep you can go comfortably, stretching out those muscles on the back of the ankle, just sliding up and down. Okay, keeping nice and tall through the posture, open and spread the toes, lift the heels. Notice where your ankles are. Are they nice and neutral and facing forward, or are they starting to turn out to your pinky edge or into your big toe edge? Notice, find your heels, slide down that wall. Come up, anchor through your big toes so you're really strong in your big toes, not sickling outwards, lowering down, slide down that wall, a little bit quicker. So here's how we're going to progress it. You do these as many times as you feel comfortable in sliding down that wall with your bum going straight down and your heels on the floor. You might be surprised how quickly your feet fatigue. If you're game for more, we switch our leg or weight over to one leg. And we do the same thing. Heel down, slide down, lift, lift, lower, lower, lift, lift. Noticing I'm going a little bit quicker. That's how you can progress this on your own. Building a little bit more strength by picking up the tempo. Okay, everybody comes up, both feet to the floor. Keep the knees straight, tap your heels, lift up. Every time you lower down, open and spread the toes. Create space so the little muscles between the toes and under the toes and on top of the toes have a chance to activate. Lift. Still using fingertip strength. Here's how we progress it. We can go quicker, we can go single leg, but we can also push down into the support. So we press down and down with the heels. Pressing down as we lift up. Now, really squeeze up to the top and notice how your ankles, your arches, your calves really fire up. A couple more. Notice, notice, notice. So we've got 2 good strengthening exercises right there. Let's stretch out the top of the foot, point your toe, bend your knee, still use your support, and just drag the top of your foot across the floor. Bend both knees and then notice the stretchy capacity of the front of the ankle. So when we were sliding our back down, we were feeling the range of motion for the back of the ankle. Now we're feeling the top of the foot and the front. Little lift, little lower, up and down. Don't be surprised if this creates cramping in the feet. All really good awareness, right? Noticing where you're tight, noticing where you're weak. And then come up, give that a nice little ankle rotation. Do the other side, switching sides. And then when you're ready, grab your band. Let's get to the floor for a couple stretches and strengthening for the lateral movement pattern of our feet. So if you look at the bottom of your shoe and notice how you wear your shoe, if it's on the outside, you're rolling to the pinky edge and you supinate. If it's on the big toe side, you're rolling inward, pronating. Guess what? When we walk, our foot is naturally doing a little bit of both sides. That is the natural pattern, but most of us have a tendency to go in or out a little bit too much. So we're gonna stretch those guys out, grab your band, get comfy, we're gonna go on the floor, or alternatively, you can just hop up on the couch or a coffee table, something like that. Okay, so we've got our band. Up at the bar or at your support, we were working strength and mobility for the front of our shins, back of our shins, bottoms of our feet, which is really important and great. We stretched it out with our heels on the floor, stretching out the back, and then we dragged our foot to stretch out the top of the foot. That's all great for linear motion, walking, running, but we need that sort of side-to-side wobbly stuff figured out too, because we're going to have uneven surfaces. So that's where this comes in handy. Now, depending on the stretchiness of the band, you may find it a little bit tricky. This is a heavy one, so it's going to be a little bit heavier resistance, and I'm not going to be able to move as much. You might be able to move a little bit more, so just be aware that your foot is going to look different than mine. Okay, sending that leg out. Shimmy your band so you've got a little bit hanging over the edge, because we want that as extra space for the toes. Grab hold of your band and just take it to the outside of your leg that you're working with. Now from the hip, just let the leg fall outward a little bit. So the pinky edges towards the floor. Stomp down on the ends of the bands. There's a little bit of tension. You know, you can always ease off or choke up depending on how much you want to get out of this. Now we're going to supinate. So we're going to work the muscles around the outer edge, the pinky side. So from here, I want you just to rotate your foot and point, point, point. Show off the sole of your foot. Point, point, point to the max, and then rotate, and then let your hip come back up so your toes are facing upward. Toes go out. As you come out, sweep your pinky edge across. Try to turn the sole of your foot up to the ceiling. Ooh, that's tight. And then out we go again, reversing it. Bring the toes back up. So this, we can feel, is work. We've got the resistance of the band. So we're strengthening it, or we could turn it into a stretch. One more, let's come back up to neutral. Let's just take the pinky edge out. Push your foot around so you're showing off the inside of your arch up to the ceiling, and your foot's kind of turning. You can feel that nice bit of stretch. Now really let it go. Everything comes back up. Slight internal rotation. Give everything a nice little bit of a wiggle. You might be surprised somewhere along that line, around the pinky edge, all the way up, even into the lower part of your calf. If you feel a little bit of tightness and tension, there's probably something going on there, right? Okay, so that's for the external rotators. Let's do the internal rotators. So we take our foot, we start with that neutral, we take the band across, hit your leg over there as an anchor point. Now we're going to work the pronators, so the muscles in here on the inside edge of our big toe side. So as we come into this, we're going to get nice and comfy, find the resistance that feels like it's a little bit there, but not too much. We can always ease in and ease out. Now to turn your foot out towards that pinky edge again, but I want you to press your toe this way as you keep tension on the band. And you should feel the top of the foot get a little bit of work. Everything returns, toes face up. Now, that first version that we did, we moved a little bit from the hip. This one, we want the movement coming from the foot only. So we're lifting, opening right here. I'll show you with the non-banded foot. So we're going like this, we're pressing out into the band with this part of our foot. Everything comes back in. This is not what we want. We don't want to roll the hip and lift. What we want to do is stay neutral in the foot, or sorry, in the hip, and press the foot into the band. And it's going to feel pretty nice or intense right in there. Let's do it again. So we're pressing the top of the foot into the band. The hand that's holding the tails, you can choke up. You can create a little bit more resistance. Ooh, let that go. Release. Do that again. From your foot, not your hip. Press the foot into the band. Resistance, resistance. Let it go. So you can do this repetition over and over and over to build the strength in the foot. Press, 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 and release. Or you can just make it a stretch where you're pressing into it and you let it all go. The thing to think about is that if we can get all the angles of our ankle and our foot, our 3 arches, our 5 toes, the stability of our ankle, the flexibility of the top of the foot and the back of the ankle are going to work really nice together in harmony. Okay, so we did the supinator, we did the pronator. Now let's just get a nice little point flex. So for this, you're going to have kind of a longer band so you're able to reach. Go ahead and just put your foot right into it, holding on to the ends just comfortably, making sure that you're sitting nice and comfortably. Open and spread the toes out. Now push, push, push into a point. This is where you're going to probably want to adjust. Again, this band I have is pretty tough resistance, so I'm really feeling the stretch on the top of the foot. I'm feeling the work in my arch. And then we come back, ease through it, pull the toes back, shoot through the heel, flex, flex, flex. Notice if you can feel that all the way through your calf. Do that again. So again, we can just use this technique as a stretch where we push into it and we just release and let it go. Or we can create it as an exercise. So we're really using the resistance band to its maximum, pushing in both directions, articulating the toes, point, 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 and back through neutral, flex, flex, flex. Let's do one more, point, point, point. Flex, flex, flex. And there you go. 6 little ways. 3 standing, 2 of them are work, 1 is for stretching, 3 on the floor. They can all be interchanged as a stretch or a strengthen. If you integrate this, say even just once a week, you might notice a little bit of looseness in the tight muscles. You might feel a little springiness in your step. Because again, where we have tight stuff, if it's not loosened up, it just finds another place to go in the body. So I hope that helps. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you again.